Originally scheduled to fight John Fitch back before BJ Penn beat Hughes, and he set up Fitch Penn. Is there any thought to possibly giving Ellenberger that and Fitch putting it together?
I don't know. We got to see what happens. So it's like you just asked a minute ago about the Koscheck fight and Hendricks possibility. But we'll see what happens. Tough to call the night of the fight. I never like talking about it.
Jake, congratulations on the big win. Talk about you coming out, your reaction to the crowd. You said you were comfortable fighting in your hometown, but it looked like you were a little more excited when you actually stepped into the cage and saw the reaction. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. No, it was man, it was electric out there. Tried to stay focused out there. It was really hard. It was a little overwhelming, coming out. The crowd was electric. So I really just tried to stay focused and for this fight, Diego's a warrior. I knew it was gonna be a tough fight, and I just tried to focus on what I was gonna do.
How are you feeling going into the third round? Did you think you were up 2-0, and then once Diego got you in trouble, what were you thinking at that point when you were on the ground and thinking the ref might stop it before you pulled out?
There's no at no time in the fight are you comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I know Diego's a guy who's always in there and he's always dangerous. So it's like, there's never a time where you can relax or say, I'm winning. It doesn't matter. He could easily, knock somebody out in a punch. So for me, I need to stay light on my feet and not take a break at all. So he had me in a bad position in the third round for sure. He was a warrior. Definitely the toughest guy I've ever fought.
One last question. In the promo before you walked out, you talked about your brother and what your family has to go through and what motivates you. Talk about getting that win in front of them and just living that motivation in front of their eyes, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It's always motivating and inspiring, to fight in front of your family and friends and stuff. But there's no easy fight here in the UFC for sure. And I knew, going to this fight with Diego, it was going to be a tough fight. There's no easy fight at all. Like I said, at no time are you comfortable, and he's a warrior. So, that's how.
Thank you.
No problem.
Jake, it seems like we're in a little bit of a stalemate here. We're kind of with GSP being out, and we've got Koscheck Hendricks coming up. How long are you comfortable waiting before you take your next fight, or how long would you like to lay off before your next fight?
I like to stay active. Maybe late spring, early summer. I don't choose who I fight, so it's up to Dana and the UFC, and I'm always ready.
And if you did have your choice, as you look at the landscape of the division, who would it be next for you if you made a choice?
Well, I'm always looking for the next step, and getting towards that title fight. But it's not up to me. My job's to fight. So, like I said, I don't say when I fight or who. So I'm just always prepared.
Jake, it seemed like you had the fight pretty well in hand in the first and second round, and going into the third, you were looking to get the unanimous decision, and then Sanchez caught you. I wonder if you can tell us what was going through your mind when that happened, and he was on top of you, and you were, just doing what you could.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. I don't remember right now, but it was a battle. He hit me hard. There's a couple times where I just had to stay focused, and when he had my back, my first assessment was to protect my neck. I can't let him choke me, and he's very good on the back. He's very good on the ground, and so my first goal was to protect my neck, not let him get the choke. And he kept his legs in and had a good position on me, but I was battling.
Now everybody's speculating about the division right now, saying who they think you should match with and who's a good opponent and who leads up to GSP. But I mean, honestly, what's your thoughts? If you get that chance to rematch Condit, do you want it right away, or what do you think?
Like I said, I'm always ready. I'm always ready to fight. And my job is to be prepared to fight. It's not up to me who I fight, but I'm always looking. Yeah, especially for that rematch with Condit, I would love to do that. But my job is to be prepared every time I get in there.
We'll take a couple more questions. So,
Jake, there seems to be two lines of thought basically. That is either A, Carlos Condit, and even Dana said if he was Carlos Condit, he would wait for George St. Pierre and let him get healthy because he's got this title shot. That's what I was going to ask you. So, I mean, do you understand that line of thing? Because the other people say, hey, he's the interim champ. He's got a belt around his waist. He needs to take whoever's in front of him. But what are your thoughts on that? Can you put yourself in his shoes, and what's your idea on that?
No, I completely agree. If I was him, I would wait for GSP. That's just, that's just my honest opinion. But, it's up to him if he wants to fight again, and, we'll see where it goes.
Crowd was really loud for you, Jake. How big of a factor? I mean, did it help you? And also, how much pressure did that put on you, knowing that you were in front of your home fans?
It's tough. It's tough every fight. It really is to be able to keep your composure and stay focused and stay relaxed. But it was an electric crowd tonight. It was exciting for sure.
Jake, a couple quick ones for you. Can you talk about just the welterweight division right now? I know you've been answering a lot of questions about this. In the last year, it seems that the welterweight division has really been infused with a lot of new blood. Do you see it stacking up? We always talk about the lightweight division, maybe the 205 division is some of the deepest in the UFC. Where do you think the depth is compared to the 170?
I don't know. That's a good question. There's no easy fight, that's for sure. The welterweight division is definitely stacked. There's so many young, hungry guys coming up, and I've been that guy for a while, just being hungry. So there's plenty of room at the top. There's just nowhere to sit down.
How closely did you watch, I guess you could call it like the golden era of the welterweights in the UFC when it was Matt Hughes, GSP was in there, Matt Serra, Frank Trade, those guys were kind of really the premier weight class in the UFC. Were you paying real close attention during that time, or had you not gotten into the sport yet?
Yeah, no, I was a big fan. I was watching, Matt Hughes was the reigning champ for a long time. Those are guys I grew up watching and wanted to be like.
Is that it? Anybody else have any more questions for No? Thank you. Have a good night, you guys. We appreciate it.